Hello my YouTube fans. We're going to do something a little different today. Actually, I'm going to bring this microphone closer to me. Okay. Alright, now I can talk a lot softer even though I'm already talking soft. So, there's my mouse. Oops. That's my mouse. Okay. Get it away from that. Okay. So, what I'm showing you right now is one of the lands, swamp of Magic the Gathering cards. This one is the Hour of Devastation. And the reason why I'm showing you this now, I don't have enough camera space to show you. I think all you know that the age suggestion is 13 plus on this game, and I don't get me wrong, I don't care either way. You know, I think kids can play this and I think it's fine. I think it's kind of cute sometimes, but I just found something out and I didn't realize this until a couple of weeks ago, and I decided to do this video on it. Do you see the blood in this? Now I know my camera is really not too cool. It doesn't self-focus, so I have to actually pull it back some. I got the black light. I don't know if it's worse or better with the black light. Let's find out. Okay, it's definitely better without it. There's definitely blood there. I'm going to use my little pointer so I don't get my big fingers in the way. This is literally blood, or water, you know, bloody water flowing down the structure. Whether it's a dam or something, I don't know exactly. It's some sort of structure pooling into the swamp. What I didn't realize was that Magic the Gathering, or I should say Wizards of the Coast, who printed these cards, did this sort of deliberately. They printed. Now I don't have an Amonkhet version of this card, so that's why I put that one out first. But let me just show you how this works, at least how I think it works. So the story went on in Amonkhet about, you know, the protectors and the gods and the so on and so forth, and then the story went at the rise of the second sun, or maybe not at the rise of the second sun, when the second sun and when the suns put themselves in between Nicobolas's horns, the structure that show the horns, the hour of destruction begins, something to that effect. So let me take away that card. So let's start with a full art. Let's start with a full art swamp. Amonkhet. Okay. So I found it intriguing that they actually went through the trouble of, I mean, this obviously the same artist did one than the other. I'm going to show you the Amonkhet first. And you can almost see, if I could just get the glare. I don't see the suns. Let me see if I can look at it. Yeah, the clouds are in the way, but the suns are not in the horns, but they're on the side somewhere over here. Maybe one of them is there somewhere. It's hard to tell because there's clouds there. But it's a swamp. It's, you know, dead trees and stuff. You know, it's basically, you know, some swampy water. And the Hour of Devastation comes. This is the same. The artist saw fit to draw the same, or paint the same exact area. Let me just show them side by side first. You can see, I'll pick the card up in a minute, you can see the same tree. Same trees, you know, one may, you know, in one picture that's a little bit more damaged, a slightly different growth. I mean, this is some great artwork. I never realized the artwork was this cool. But let me just show you them Now, let me see if I can do this. As you can see, the Amonkhet one that I just showed you first is, you know, clear of any blood. Then the Hour of Devastation comes, and you can actually see now that the sun, or perhaps suns, are in the horns in between. And look at that. Look at the swamp, the bloody swamp. If I could just get this thing, I don't have autofocus. There's no focus on this, so bear with me. One of these days I'll get myself a new camera. I already got myself a new mic, so one of these days I'll get myself a new camera. But look at the blood. And what intrigued me was when I realized, when I was going through the cards for something, and I realized that these were the same scene, you know, in different times. I hadn't realized, you know, Amonkhet versus Hour of Devastation. I hadn't realized that they went through the trouble of doing this. I mean, I think that's pretty cool. Okay, so let's get to the next one. Okay, let's put these aside. So, I didn't find all of them. I had trouble finding a comparison with white. Mind you, they make a lot of the same. Let me see. Yeah, the white in the full arts I found, but in the basic arts I did not. You know, they make a lot of the full arts. They only make a couple, and the basic arts they make 3, 4. I'm not sure how many. So I didn't have matchups, you know, to compare of every single one, which I showed you on the first card that was sitting out there. I didn't have a matchup of the Amonkhet for this one. But let's see if we can. Let me see if we can find a structure. Here we go. Let's get away from the swamp. Let's leave swamps for last. Let's do the forest. Okay, so I'm not exactly sure what the structure is, but I'm going to put this down before I show this is Amonkhet. And before I show the Hour of Devastation. Again, I'm sorry about the chromey camera. So, you know, you see this structure here, whatever it is, you see the nickel bolus horns and this sort of, I don't know if it's a door. Let me take a close look at this. It's on the door. It's on the side of the building. Actually, it's a tall building behind something. But you can see, you know, get the idea what this. I actually have a foil of this. You can get an idea what the, you know, what it looks like. And I'll leave that down here. And I'll pick up the Hour of Devastation. And it took me a while to figure this out. I didn't think this was a matchup. But this is after the Hour of Devastation. This is after Nicol Bolas comes in. This is the same structure, same area. This one is the destroyed. This one is the before destruction. I had no idea that they went through this trouble. I find it interesting. You know, and you know, this is I'm gonna be putting this video in my story time because there is a story behind those, and I don't think the writing is all that great. I'm not going to compare it to great writing with the authors I've been highlighting, but nevertheless, it's intriguing. And when they back it up with this kind of artwork, you know, there's some books that you buy, especially young books that have artwork in it. So it's important sometimes to back up your stories with artwork. So this is. Let me see if I can point to the. I'm sorry, I'm going to look at these right side up because I'm showing you. So, okay. Alright, so the first one I showed you, I showed you the horns, the Nicol Bolas horns up here, but I forgot to show you these. I'm looking at it upside down, so it's hard for me to. These right here. These are also his horns in the middle of the building somewhere. Okay, or perhaps, oh yeah, it's a separate structure. It's a separate sort of thing sticking out of the ground there. Okay, here it is again. After the destruction. Let me just get that right. It's hard for me to see on this camera, but there it is again. After the destruction. And let me see if I could just get you to see that a little bit better. So putting them side by side, again, I didn't see it at first. I had to really look at it closely. But that is the same building, same area before and after the destruction. I think it's rather cool and intriguing, you know, that they included this kind of artwork. Now I'm going to start looking for the rest of the cards. I'm going to start looking for the rest of the lands for both, you know, Amonkhet and Hour of Destruction to make. I'm going to try and see if I can find the complete set of lands to try and make all the comparisons one of these days. But I got quite a few here now. Let me see what else I can pull off on this set here. Yeah, there is this versus this. This is all destroyed. This is part of the building that's not destroyed. Interesting stuff. Interesting stuff. Okay, so we're going to put those away. And we'll go to the islands, the blue. This one was really threw me for a loop. Again, here's a building, a structure of some kind, you know, whatever that is, right? And what else is there? Let me see if I can see what else is there. And I want you to pay attention to this as well on the side here. And again, I know that the camera is not too cool, and for those of you who have magic cards and have these you know, these are just common lands. I'm sure you'll take a look through your lands. You might have dismissed them. You know, you might have said, oh, these are lands. Okay, I need those. And you never really looked at the art. But I want you to notice them now, because here, that's before the destruction, and here's after the destruction. That is the same structure. Yes. So the hour of destruction has come, and all of this is now crumbling, especially the center of the picture. This picture here, this is actually that all destroyed, and you can see fire in the sky and whatnot. All this here, this here as well, and that corresponds to this here. So it's you know, I'm finding this artwork rather intriguing. You know, at first glance, you just, yeah, it's nice, that's cool. You know, it's you know, it's crazy art. But when you look at it closely and realize, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to mention, this is kind of a fountain or waterfall of some kind. You know, like a fountain out of that building. This is now bloody. That's bloody water coming out of there. I don't know if I can. Again, this camera sucks. Maybe I can shine it on more light. No, it just glares. But yeah. So I encourage you to take a look at your cards. I'm sure you have most of these. You know, anybody out there who does Magic the Gathering. Okay, so we're going to get to, I want to do a full art again. Let's take a look at the forest full art. Okay. Let me see, we need to look at this. Yeah. Okay, so behind the clouds I can see, again, it was when the two suns were supposed to line up behind the Nicol Bolas's horns, the structure of to represent his horns. So you could see the sun's behind the clouds there. Okay, so they're not lined up in the horns, right? But you could also see, without too much glare, if I could just get away from the glare. Oh, there we go. That's better. Now I could actually see the sun in the camera, right there. But you could see, you know, a fairly clean structure. You know, they're not falling down. They're well built and all that. Okay, so I'm just going to lay that down like this. There we go. And go to the after the destruction. Okay. I don't know if I've been showing you. I haven't been showing you this on the camera, but you can see the set symbol right there. This is our destruction. The set symbol on this one is Amonkhet. I don't know if you can actually see that in the camera. But now look at this. Now you see definitively the sun in the middle of, and actually I believe that's actually both suns, like one behind the other. You know, I actually have a card that's, you know, the rise of the second sun. Anyway, just look at the destruction. Look at the. Let me just take a closer look at this. Yeah, if you look closely, I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up, but you could actually see that's bloody water in the forest. And the sky looks rather, scary. Looks fire in the sky kind of thing. And you can see the destruction of these buildings here, or these structures here, have been, you know, broken and you know, they're crumbling. So put those side by side so you can look at them. It's a little bit glary, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, again, it's I didn't realize the trouble they went through to really show that destruction. Now I'm going to show you a red one, full art. Again, at least one of the suns on this one, and actually, okay, on the plains on the next one you see two suns, but on this one you see one. Okay, and you see these pillars of structures or whatever they are, you know, and the one in the middle of there, the small one far away, and you see, of course, well, at least one of the suns is not lined up with the horns. Everything looks cool. Everything looks peaceful. It's red, but it's peaceful. And then comes the hour of destruction. And again, this is Amonkhet. Let me just see if I can. I don't know if you can see that symbol. That's Amonkhet. Okay. And then the hour of destruction comes. There's the symbol for hour of destruction here. Now you have the sun. In between the horns. I only see one, but it could be two there. Could be one behind the other, I don't know. But as you can see, the crumbling pillars or whatever they were is in comparison to this one. The same as, compare the larger one or the closer one, whichever it is. Compared to this is actually that one. Okay, that's actually that one. And the one in the middle is kind of decrepit looking, but it's there. So this is the same area, the same, you know, place. You know, months before, years before, whichever it is. It's like before the hour of destruction and after the hour of destruction. So Amonkhet versus hour of destruction. So I you know, I'm just an old man who just started doing this just for the fun of it, and it never occurred to me that they would go through the trouble of really getting their artists to do some pretty cool stuff. By the way, this you know, I haven't been mentioning the artists, but let me see if I can find at least one of the names. I can't see it from here. I'm gonna have to get a different magnifying glass, but chances are you have these cards. So you go ahead and look at the artist. So I think I'll show you the red basic land next. And then I'll get to the plains where you see the two suns. So again, there's a red one. This is Amonkhet. Some kind of structure there, whatever that is, in the mountains. And this is Hour of Destruction. Again, same area, same place. One looks destroyed and dreary and scary. The other one is peaceful, even if it's red. Pretty cool stuff. Okay. Okay, next one. I promised you the white plains. Yeah. Okay, so again, Now we see two suns. Right? They're not in the center. Well, one of them's almost there, right? Let's glare. Let me take the glare out. It's you know, it's just out in the open plains. It's not a lot of structures there, but there's something there. There's some structure there. There's this thing. Okay, it's sort of on the side of the card. When you take it, that's before the destruction, and this is when the sun reaches the center. And now you see that same structure. It's hard to see on this camera, but you can compare it directly to this one. Let me just take my finger out of the way. You can compare it directly to this one. You can see it's kind of crumbly. It's been damaged badly. Again, same area. It's like taking a picture of a street before an accident and taking it during the accident, you know, or just after all the destruction happens. I find this stuff pretty cool. Now, did I show you this one? I don't think I showed you this one. No. This is the islands. I don't know if I showed you this one. I'll show it to you quickly. Again, after, before. I'm sorry, did I say after, before? Before, after. Okay. And you can see the after has the sun. It might even be two suns there. Well, it looks like a reflection in the clouds. It's hard to tell. But there is supposed to be two suns. I don't know if both of them are supposed to be behind. You know, I'll have to read the story or listen to the story. I know they're available in audio on the web. But you can see the difference. There's not a big difference here. You know, maybe there's not a lot of action here, but there is some damage to these pillars, to the whatever the structures there. Here you can see that they're kind of you know, kind of damaged. So that's those. I think I showed you the forest. So, and then there's two more I have on the swamp. On this is crazy. This one. So this is before Amonkhet. This is Amonkhet before the destruction. And now, I just want you to take notice of this waterway, whatever that is. It's a swamp, I guess, but there's water there. Just take notice of that. Let's turn that right side up for you. You see it? The same waterway, the same structure, the same area. Let me just make sure of that. The structural damage on the side there is not so much, but there's the blood, bright red in this particular. I don't even have to hold it up. You can see it without it. So it's really cool, I thought. You know, it's bloody, and I could see perhaps maybe that's one of the reasons why they made it to 13 plus. I don't know, because they anticipated the bloodiness of the later on scene. But I thought it was kind of goes with my storytelling and things like that, because this is a story. This is a long-lasting story, and I know this is a freaking millionaire's game, and sets cost a lot, and the subsidiary of Hasbro, namely Wizards of the Coast, you know, is making millions on this, maybe billions on this. But I thought it was cool. I thought it was pretty cool for it to show some of this art. And obviously, I'm not going to show you that. You know, I can't show you all the art, but some of the art of the creatures and things like that are also very cool. But I thought the timeline and the storytelling, you know, this goes along with my storytelling and things like this. Not that I think that the writing again is not the best, but seeing as how it is a game, and there is a actual story behind the game, to find out that the artwork from one set to the next, which is, this is a, what they call this, they call it a set, they call it a block. So this is a block. It's Amonkhet and our Devastation. So it is a block that coincides with each other, and they perfectly match the artwork to go with it. And I thought that was pretty cool, you know, to go along with the story, which now I'm going to have to read or listen to or something, now that I see in front of me on the cards that I own. And perhaps you'll do the same on the cards that you own. Maybe you'll find some more pairs, because I don't have a lot. You know, I'm too broke to be playing this game. But there's my set of pairs from one to the next. So enjoy, find the stories, take a look at your cards, let me know what you think. Maybe you can show me some of yours, maybe some that I didn't show you, and some that I don't have. Please subscribe. Thank you for watching. Please share.